everyone, so today I have a routine for you which is a Guerlain Terracotta routine in celebration of their new blush, which I've just bought in this shade 01 Rose Claire, which is a light pink. So I'll be using this with their foundation, the concealer, the bronzer, the luminiser slash highlighter and their blush, all of them together, just to see how the terracotta range works together on my face. I will be using all of my Guerlain products as well, so you'll see a full Guerlain face today. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 47, I'm not a professional, just somebody who loves makeup, and I love to share my passion for makeup and beauty here on my channel with you and share any product news, tips, looks, anything I think might interest you. So if you think you'd enjoy that, please do like and subscribe below, it really does help my channel. And if you could just pop a comment below, even if it's just to say hello, that really does help me to get seen on YouTube, because I'm quite new and I'm trying to get myself visible on the channel. So anyway, let's get started. So I'm not going to go into great product details about this range because none of these are new products apart from the blush, so I'll go into a bit more detail about that one. But I'll be starting with an absolute favourite of mine, which is the Terracotta foundation, and I have this in the shade 1N. If you are new to my channel, I am a fair to light neutral, pretty much fair really at the moment, especially in the winter, and I predominantly wear neutral shades. You can see how this is a very good skin match for me, 1N. I have combination skin which leans more on the dry end, but I do have an oily T-zone, so my nose and chin can be oily. I'm using here my BK Beauty 101 brush, which is pretty much my go-to for foundation brushes. Very rarely use anything else. That's just half a pump on my face now. It's just one of the most beautiful foundations and one of the ones my skin agrees with the most, because I'm having an awful lot of trouble at the moment with a changeover in my tretinoin prescription to get anything to agree with my skin, and this is one of the ones that does. It's one of the only ones at the moment that isn't caking up by the evening. So that's 1.5 pumps on my face. It's completely cancelled out all the redness on my face. I think this gives me one of the most natural finishes. I do have a primer on, which isn't Guerlain, I'm afraid, but I am testing out the new Victoria Beckham, the moisturising primer. I'm testing out her full skin range at the moment, so I won't go into details about this. There will be a video coming up on this, but I can tell you right now that for the very first day of testing it, my foundation has sat very nicely on it. There's no breaking up anywhere around the nose or chin, and I've had that every day in the last week, so that's a good start. And I'm going in with the Guerlain Terracotta concealer, and if anyone's seen my video on this, you'll know that this is a huge hit for me. My concealer of the year so far. I've used it almost every day since getting it. I switch between this one and the House Labs. They're my top two at the moment. I use my fingers lately to tap in underneath the eyes. It's quite a sort of serum based concealer this, and the warmth of my hands and meeting with my face is one of the best ways. So this is how I've been starting lately, just tapping in over the eyes anyway, and then going back in to tidy up, just letting it absorb initially. This doesn't give full coverage, but you can see now how it's already cancelled out a lot of the redness on my eyelids, so it does give quite a reasonable amount of coverage, to be fair. I've got my BK Beauty A507. I've had this now for well over a year, but I have seen it being talked about on TikTok. I think it's become a trend there, but this is probably one of the best concealer brushes. It's really for under the eye, but I use it all over the face because it works everywhere really. And using these two together is just a huge success for me because my skin really likes using the two. If I do use a different concealer, it can cause caking around the nose area. It doesn't seem to like me mixing, but when I use the two together, this gives me a perfect combination. So at the moment I would definitely say that this combination of concealer and foundation is the one my skin is enjoying the most. You can see with this brush the shape of it, it's incredibly soft. Just look how it taps in and fits so perfectly underneath the eye. I don't think you'll find a better concealer brush than this one. BK Beauty is probably the range I use the most. All brushes used today are linked below if that's helpful to you. I don't have a setting powder from Guerlain, so I'm using my standard Givenchy Prisme Libre in shade 03, my go-to powder. I'm also contouring the face using my Victoria Beckham contour pen. I have the bronzer from Guerlain, but I don't think it serves as a contour, so I'm just using a bit of this just to put a bit of contour in before I start. I'm now going to use my Givenchy Prisme Libre, however it's said, to set the rest of my face. So before I go onto the face, I'll just do my eyes, and this is one of my favourite eyeshadow palettes from Guerlain. The packaging is always stunning from them. Excuse all my fingerprints. This is from their Ombre G palette range, and this is Undressed Brown. Beautiful colour story. I'm starting with this colour here. These are some of the most buttery soft, beautiful shades I have ever used. They really are gorgeous. I'm running this just above the lid as my starting colour. Blends out very nicely and very easily. And the brush I use to start is the BK Beauty 207. This one just packs colour quite a lot, as you can see. I'm using BK Beauty 204. Going into the deepest brown, I'm going to take this underneath and then just bring it up, and then using the fluffy brush start bringing it to meet the lighter shade and tidying up with a fluffy brush. These really do pack a lot of punch, so very pigmented shades. I'm using my finger to go in with this coppery shade. Look at that, coppery orange. And this palette really speaks autumn, winter, not spring, which is what's on the market at the moment, but we are still in winter, so it's nice to go back to these shades. I'm running this underneath the lid and taking this lightest shimmer into the inner part of the lid and bringing it to meet the orange. Adding more in the inner corners and under the brow. Now I know this isn't Guerlain, but I had to include this in the video because I've been trying it the last few days, and that's the mascara from Lisa Eldridge. This is her new Kitten Lash mascara. Now for me, this mascara, if I write down everything I want in a mascara, it would be this, because this is lightweight, it is waterproof, it is smudge proof, which I can attest to, and it is not one of these really heavy ones which bulks up. It basically separates. It does give you length, it gives you an instant curl. It's not really giving you a lot of volume, which personally I prefer. It gives you quite a natural finish, which I really enjoy. So here is my eye here with just one coat, so you can see the difference between the two. I'll show you from the side. If you look here now on this lash, watch how the first swipe of this will just curl my eyelashes straight up. I'm just zigzagging it in to the base of my lashes, but watch now. The one sweep up has instantly lifted them up. Now, I don't have very long lashes, and I don't have lashes that curl up naturally. This is just bringing them up and curling them up and keeping them in place with just the first coat. And look at that. I love this, I really do. If this is your sort of mascara, and this is the sort of finish you like, then definitely pick this up, because this is my favourite type of mascara. And I like to turn the wand so it's at this angle to finish up. I think that really brings the curl up. And it does also remove very easily. And that's how it looks after 2 coats. Definitely recommend picking this one up. Now back onto Guerlain, and we're going to move to bronzer. Now I didn't have a plain bronzer like this, which is something I've just bought with the blush, and this is in shade 00 Light Cool. What I did already have in my collection was this one, which has a mixture of pinks, different shades of browns and shimmers. And this one is shade 02 Medium Cool. So these are both cool, but this one's medium, the other one is light. And I just wanted to show you how they are actually quite similar, to be fair. So this is the first one, the medium light, the mixture of all the different colours. And here's the new one that I've bought. I think it looks exactly the same. minus the shimmer, because this one does have a pop of shimmer. The shade looks exactly the same, so if anyone's thinking of picking up one or the other, these two look identical to me. So this one is actually medium cool and this one is light cool, but they're coming across the same on my skin. So this bronzer comes in 6 different shades. This is the lightest and it has 8.5 grams and it costs £47. It's also refillable, which is good. They all come in the gorgeous, gorgeous Guerlain cases, which have the red symbol coming through. Beautiful. And it says that this recreates a seamless, true to skin finish in just one step. So let's have a look. I'm using my Niji Pro Sonia G brush here, which is my current favourite for bronze. That's picked up a lot on the brush look, which makes me a little bit nervous. But tapping it off, nothing is coming off. So let's just see. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. It looked like a lot on the brush. That is giving me a natural effect instantly in one swipe, actually, without any blotchiness. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, but it's got a slightly shimmery finish to it. I can see it myself. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's got a tiny bit of sort of gold in it. And I think it's that's supposed to give you that sort of bronze glow finish. But certainly on the skin, it's not coming across glittery or shimmery. It's just coming across a sort of natural bronze glow, as it says. I really like that. There's no need to buff out the edges or anything. It's just gone on very naturally, so that's a good start. It says on their website that the texture instantly fuses with the skin, which is exactly how I experienced it. It contains natural Moroccan argan oil. That might explain why it's so smooth. And this is supposed to help lock in moisture rather than dry out your skin. So the combination of the foundation with this could be very good on mature skin. It's certainly working well on my mature skin at the moment, and throughout the day hopefully it'll keep that moisture locked in and I won't experience dryness and it'll still look glowy and fresh. I will put an update below if you'll pin a comment to the comment section to give you an update on how this was looking in the evening. So now on to the brand new release, which is this blush, again in this gorgeous packaging. This is their Terracotta blush, and this has 5 grams, it's £43 and it comes in 6 shades. I've gone for the lightest, which is 01 Light Pink. This is described as a soft bluish pink. So I'll do a swatch for you. And here's how it swatches on my hand. Very nice pink. Formulated with 90% natural ingredients, it says. A lightweight and airy texture, and it's supposed to be very buildable. So I'm going to use my Sonia G, a lot of kickback there, cheek brush, showing you how much is coming up on the brush. Again, quite a lot, which always makes me nervous, but let's go with it because it was fine with the bronzer. Do you know, these really do just melt in the skin. Because look, I don't think I need to do much work. That's really impressive. Does just melt into the skin with all the other products. I think this concept of using them together, they really do fuse together beautifully. Oh, I really like that. So I'm building it up now. It does say it's very buildable. I don't think I'd build it up any more than this because it will start to get a bit crazy on me. And take a little bit across the nose here. I do think that second layer was a little bit too wild for my skin tone, so I'm using my Sonia G Buffer Pro to rescue me a bit by going around the edges. This is such a good brush for that, honestly. I use this so much to rescue me. Fantastic brush. So I won't go in quite as much the second time round. It's not that it's highly pigmented, it's just that I went in too much. So the first swipe gives such a natural blush. I think the first and only swipe is necessary with me. Depends how much you like your blush, I suppose, but for me that's sort of very natural, just come out of the cold or just been out running, so you're warm, you've got a flushed face. That one sweep is giving me exactly that. I really like that. I'm going with a tiny bit more just so that it meets the other side. On the touch, just to reach the tops of my cheekbones. Keep being told by people I should be taking my blush higher, and it always worries me because I'm not sure about it. I'm starting to try and do it. I'm taking a little bit more just to go there. So that's about it for me. I think I could easily, this could be built up 3 times the strength of this, which you saw when I did it earlier, but I like a natural finish. I don't like a very bold blush. So there we go. I think it blends beautifully with all of the other terracotta products, it really does. And so to finish, I have the Terracotta Luminiser. Now I know when I used the Chanel Luminiser recently, it was a disaster on my cheeks, and I learned from that I should have used it underneath my foundation, and it worked very well. So I haven't obviously done that with this because it doesn't have the sort of glittery appearance of the Chanel Luminiser, so I'm hoping I can use this as a standard highlighter. And this has 7 grams of product and it costs £47, and it comes in warm gold and cool ivory, and I've got the cool ivory. So I'm going to go in with my Sonia G Fan A brush, the only one I've been using lately for highlighters. No kickback. Now this should give me a luminescent shimmer. It's definitely not like the Chanel one, and it should create a subtle golden glow. It says playing on multi-dimensional reflections, which is definitely what's happening. This is, I suppose, very similar to Chanel in that sense. So you're getting all these different little bits. They're like little fine particles of glitter, but they're just not so intense as the Chanel. So they just catch slowly in the light, which I think is really pretty. I hope that's being caught on camera. I forgot to do a swatch of this for you. So here's how it looks on the back of my hand. You see that as I turn it, the way it sort of catches all the different parts of it. It's quite a multi-layered sort of highlighter. And just like with the bronze and the blush, it's just blending into my skin naturally. These are just so easy. I'm not having to do much work at all. It's just swipe them on and it blends in with everything else. It gives a very lovely finish. This is a really lovely range, honestly. I'm really impressed with it. I don't know why it's taken me this long to get the full collection. It was the blush that made me think, right, I need to get the bronzer and the highlight. Maybe it's because I don't hear enough about it. I don't see enough people talking about this range. I don't really know why. Because it's absolutely gorgeous. I need to be careful not to go too mad, but you can see with the highlighter you can go quite mad without it being terrifying. Oh, that is really, I love that, it's so pretty. So this one can definitely be worn on top. You could go really heavy-handed with it underneath to see what that's like. That definitely worked for me with the Chanel. I'm going to run some down my nose. And the Cupid's bow. Now lipstick, this obviously isn't in the terracotta line, but I do have the most beautiful cases I've ever owned in my life, and they are from Guerlain. Here they are, I'll show you them now. So this case was in their spring release last year, this cherry blossom. And these cases, as you open them, a mirror springs up, so you can use this for your application, and then the lipstick is inside. You can actually choose whichever lipstick you want, so these are refillable. You can just buy more of these and you keep the case for life. So that was the one I bought last year with the spring release, and this one is this year's spring release. And you can also get these engraved. This was the shade that I got with the spring release this year. And then last year this was their summer release, which is like a sort of blue jeans. You can feel bumps on it. Can you see the B as well, the Guerlain B? I just love it. And that's the shade I got. I buy the ones that come with the release of the case, so I don't have the names of the shade, I'm afraid, but whichever shade gets released with the case, I tend to buy it because it always seems to fit the season. And this is the one I'll put on today because this was their Christmas release. Now this isn't quite as pretty, it's like a furry, soft furry coating. So I don't really like the case as much, but again it's got this lovely mirror. And I did get this one engraved. Can you see on here it says Hand Beauty 101? So this is the shade that came with this winter one, which I think goes better with the look I'm wearing today because I've got the darker eyeshadow on. So these lipsticks come in a velvet matte or in a satin, and this one is called Cherry Bloom, and this one is still available, but there are 6 permanent cases on there, so if you don't like this one you can choose other ones, and when you go on there you can choose how to match them all together. The case itself is £32 and the lipstick is also £32, so it's coming up to £64 for the two together, and the engraving is complimentary. So this is the shade I got with their winter release. So that's the winter shade, but now I'm seeing it with the eyes. It's not working, so I'm going to take this off. I think I will actually go in with the new release because my eye colour is so strong. I think my lips need to be a little bit more calm. So this one is a much more light pink. Yeah, I think that's better. I think I don't want to take away from the eye colour with a really bold lip. These are so comfortable to wear. Like this one is the satin finish. So your lips but better, I think, this sort of shade is lovely. So the name of the shade for this one is actually Cherry Bloom. So it comes with the case is Cherry Bloom and the shade of the lipstick is Cherry Bloom. So very spring friendly. Obviously I'm going with your autumn look, so I'm mixing the seasons together here. So this isn't necessary, but just to finish off the Guerlain experience, I'm going to finish off using these pearls. These are their Météorites Pearls Powder, and you can use this to sort of illuminate the face, not in a very shocking way. They're quite mild, you'll see now. But I use this as a finishing powder, not as a setting powder. This box was part of the winter release, so you might not be able to get this pattern now, but you can still get this, and they do have other cases available. So you can see these two came together, and it is a gorgeous pot. Look at that. I don't think anyone can beat Guerlain when it comes to packaging, honestly. And here's how they look inside. Very pretty. And they have a smell, a bit like, very strong actually. It's like Parma Violets, the sweets, if you know them. So if you like that smell, you'll love this, and if you don't, you'll hate it, because it's quite strong. I use my BK Beauty 102 massive fluffy brush and just roll this around in them, and then just use it to finish. So all this will do is just give me a nice finish and a little bit of a glow, but not a crazy glow. It's just an all-round nice experience using this. It's the smell of it, the look of it, the packaging. It's just that touch of luxury at the end. It's just lovely. The whole Guerlain experience in general is something that makes me very, very happy. It makes you feel very pampered and lovely. Anyway, can you see that's just giving me a nice finish across the skin and a bit of a sort of healthy glow. So yeah, I think that's really pretty. And I can't finish a Guerlain look without a perfume. My favourite perfumes at the moment are the ones from Guerlain, and this is the Aqua Allegoria range. I've got 2 of them sitting over there, and I've got some minis as well, and they have actually just released another one. I think it's called Flora Bloom. I've tried a sample of that, so if you like florals, I'm not as big on powerful florals, but if you like florals, it is beautiful. I've tried the sample, so that's just come out, but this one came out just before it, and this is their Turkish Rose, and this genuinely does smell of Turkish roses. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this will last on me all day. So this gives the perfect finishing touch to my Guerlain look. So there we go. I am fully Guerlained up. I am very, very, very happy with this whole face of terracotta. I've got no caking in any part of my face whatsoever, and let me tell you, that hasn't happened for a long time lately. I've had so many problems. So the combination of all of these products has just worked fabulously. They're so natural, so easy, so blendable. They're just, you've seen how they apply. There's no work involved, and they just give you this lovely, lovely natural finish. I'm very happy. The new blush is beautiful. Okay, it's not a particularly exciting shade, it's a fairly standard shade, but I think it's the formula you need to think about here, because they just mesh together so nicely with the terracotta range. And for me, using them all together, I think it's beautiful. And I'm not disappointed in the slightest that I bought the full range. I think this is worth the investment. So if you're a fan of Guerlain Terracotta generally, I definitely recommend trying the full set, because this experience has been a huge success for me. I will pop a note, as I said earlier, in my comments, and I'll pin it to the top for you. So when this goes out, I will have that for you. In fact, I'll probably be able to put it in before that, so I can add it also into my description. So one way or another, you can see my update on how this lasted, because I would like to let you know if I'm experiencing caking or is it wearing off. I mean, obviously we're looking more at the complexion, as in cheek and bronzer and highlighter today. We're not really assessing the foundation, but I would like to tell you what the longevity is and how this is working generally, because right now it does look absolutely perfect and I'm so pleased with it. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful and I hope you've enjoyed it. If this is something you do like to watch, then I'd love it if you liked and subscribed below. Hit that notification bell to catch my future videos. That really would be so helpful. And if you comment below, I'd love to chat with any of you about anything to do with makeup, but obviously about Guerlain Terracotta. Have you tried it? Do you have a favourite? Will you be picking up one of the new blushes, or do you already have one? I'd love to hear from you. Don't tempt me into buying all of them, please, even though honestly that's just a joke. Let me know which one have you bought and which one you're enjoying. And that's about it really. I hope to hear from you, and I hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everyone. Bye.